Coming to the industry, which is doing really well since COVID, is the edtech industry. It has been booming. So let us like talk about some strategies for edtech companies. So we'll start with Ishita as she is working in an edtech company. So if you could like a little bit elaborate about email marketing strategy generally that is used by an edtech company.
Yeah. So, like you said, you're definitely right. Post the COVID, it's absolutely going in a boom. And I think apart from EdTech, only FMCG has been the one who has been equally competitive in the after post-COVID times. But yeah, okay. Talking about the email marketing strategy for any EdTech company, or for any company for that matter, a funnel plays a very, very crucial role when it comes to any marketing strategy. Anybody here who doesn't understand what exact funnel I'm talking about, so I'll just say it out loud so everybody is on the same page. So first funnel, in the top funnel, it comes the awareness stage, that you got to make people aware about the product. Once you're aware about the product, then you talk about the second stage of it, that is the consideration phase. Once you are aware, I want you to consider my product. Once you have considered my product, I want you to try my product. So, awareness, consideration, and trial. Once you try my product, I would want you to purchase my product. Once you purchase my product, I would want you to repurchase my product and become a loyal customer. Once you have become a loyal customer, I would want you to do my marketing. I would want you to spread word of mouth within your understanding so that my marketing acquisition cost becomes lower. So when you understand the funnel, you have to create your entire email marketing strategy in a way that at every point of time you are putting your customers down in your lower funnel, down and down. So let's just take an example. Let's just say that if somebody is coming onto my website, medimagic.com, and that particular person has read about the brand, that these guys provide some really awesome cool videos for MBBS students. Let me see what they do, and they come to the website and they check out the website, and then now they're truly intrigued at it. That, wow, what is this? Let me just have some more information about it. Now they subscribe to the newsletter. There's this pop-up that comes in, that, do you want to know everything about medical education? Subscribe to this newsletter. They fill in their details, and once they fill in the detail, instant email gets triggered onto their email account, which now the person has need to understand the customer thought process right now. The customer is now aware about MediMagic. Now I want the customer to consider my app. So I triggered an email onto the email on his email, saying that, you have just encountered with India's best medical education providing company. You are just one second away to experience the most amazing product ever. Here's a link to download, and that person downloads the link. Now the person has considered the product to try it. Now, once the customer downloads the app, now we know that he or she is on a trial basis. So what we do is we also provide 14 days of free trial, and then the customer, once have got the good feeling and experience of the product, then we push the person to purchase the product. So now the person has in a trial basis. So in the span of those 14 days of free trial, we'll keep sending out the emailers for them to purchase the app. Now let's just say that the person has downloaded, and we immediately trigger an email which says that, welcome to MediMagic. You're going to have the best experience in terms of education, and so on and so forth. Now the person gets really excited to, let's see what is this all about. Now, in the third day and the fourth day, then again they'll be like, we have to tell them that we hope that these are the videos that you're not missing. We hope that you are learning each and everything that you need to. So let's just say that on fourth day, the person might have got disinterested, that or probably must have forgotten about the app, but then triggering that particular email again brings that person back to the app. Now after 4 days, again, when we know that the person is coming onto the near to 14 days of 14 days of expiry, then on 10th day, we just say that, there are 4 days remaining. I hope that, you're experiencing everything very perfectly, and so on and so forth. Now, in the last 24 hours, again, it will be a very, very strong purchase intent emailer, which will go out, which will say that we are known to master in so many areas, and this is why you need MediMagic in your regular curriculum. Here's the pricing plan. You get this, and now you get an opportunity to purchase it and become a permanent member. and let's just say on the 14th day, we would really expect somebody to purchase after triggering the entire flow. But if the person is not purchasing, then again after 2 days, it's a reminder emailer that pushes out that, come back, we miss you, or after 3 days or 4 days. So that is how the entire funnel has to be kept in mind, be it whatever company that you are working for, that what is the ultimate objective. If your ultimate objective is for the person to use your app or product, then you make them just retain on your app or product. If your intent is to make them purchase, then that is how the entire flow should be. So if Jagrati has anything to add here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Ishita, you kind of gave a very holistic view of it. I would just, quickly sum it up from my understanding of EdTech. So we offer courses at Query Connect and master classes. So how we do it, first of all, let me just clear this out that a lot of people think that email is dead and people aren't using email because everybody's on social media. Email is not dead. Email is the cheapest version of your advertisements and marketing, and it works. It works, with wondrous results. At least it's been in my opinion, and for the brands that I've come across. So it does work. And what basically I understand is the funnel that you mentioned. So the IDA funnel also does the same thing. So, awareness, interest, desire, and then you want them to take an action, which is the purchase, most probably.
Mm-hmm.
So what we have been doing is not a newsletter, but a drip campaign. So drip, as the name suggests, really comes from the word irrigation. We are nurturing the lead.
Yeah.
So we are actually using a drip campaign currently, which is working good. So as soon as you come to our website, the first thing is, of course, to sign up. All right. You are interested. So you're already a warm lead for us. Now you click sign up. A newsletter will come, a week later or a month later or on a periodic basis. But a drip campaign is automated at different stages and it kind of targets your audience into different sections. So if you sign up, you are a new user for me. So you will go into a new category, Ishita. Okay. And then after the sign up, you will receive the first email that, hey, welcome to Query Connect, and this is what we do. 4 days later, hey, are you interested in a masterclass? If you click on the masterclass, then you go into a warmer lead, which is, okay, now we know your behavior, now we know your interest. You use the masterclass as per our algorithm. So now we know you are interested in a course as well. So 4 days later, we will tell you, okay, 4 ways to actually master what you've learned in the masterclass and 4 reasons why you need the course. So you're telling or reminding your customers this is why you actually need the product. So you're giving them more reasons to be a user or a customer. And then it transcends into the action. And as you said, at some point you want your customers to be your advocates. So your, CPCs and your acquisition costs go down. So this is how we perceive a drip campaign. And one thing I love about, the drip campaigning part of email marketing is that it's automated. So sometimes there are new users. The other times there are, cart abandoners. This is the word that I've learned from Isaac, who I learned Google AdWords from, right?
Absolutely.
So there are people who would come down to your cart but will not purchase. So that's a whole different section of people. You already know they wanted this particular product, but they have not purchased. So you keep reminding them of ways why you needed this product. And, here's a free ebook. Let's say you did not download the masterclass. So you give them more reasons. You give them a free ebook. And that's why some people also underestimate, just, off the topic. People see that you only need to invest into advertising. No, you do not. Email marketing is just as good, and giving more free stuff is actually the new cool.
Absolutely.
I mean, it is cheaper than actually putting in money in advertisements, and you just give your product for free initially or sample your product. That gives your audience a little taste of what you're actually offering.
Absolutely.
So that's just how things have been working so far for me and giving results also.
I think when it comes to free marketing and when it comes to effective marketing, both of these gets resolved by email marketing and push notification. If both of these stuff are going parallel, then there is no chance that you're not making a strong hold in your entire target audience. Let's just say that, like, example for example, the cart abandonment that you gave. So probably, let's just say that the person might have missed that email, that the cart is waiting for you, the cart is missing you. At the same time, the notification also gets triggered. Then it kinds of an add-on, because again, email marketing is just another tool of notification itself, because nowadays you just you get it in your phone, and it's just another way of notifying your customers. So if both of these things gets triggered at the same time, then the cost of acquisition and the conversion rate, it's on a boom. I mean, the cost goes down and the conversion gets real good. Yeah.
Great.
No, yeah, I totally agree
In
with that.
this, there's a follow-up question that uh, the spam, like when these companies you're sending emails in bulk and all these software you're using, how do you avoid that it is going in spam, as well as Google identifies certain things as promotions category. So how do you actually get into the inbox of people of your prospects, or it could be even your customers?
Sure. Uh, should I take it forward, or Jonathan, do you want?
Yes, Ishita can take over.
All right. So how you usually do is, there is different keywords, sets of keywords that each of these folders have. So for example, when it comes to primary folder, then there are certain keywords. If you're using that, then it might end up just ending to your social or your promotional folder. If you're using certain keywords, let's just say that, and it's too often, let's just say it's more of free, just free gift, free vouchers, and it's kind of a spam. When people are, let's just say, out of 100 users, 50 are coming onto it, and they're just bouncing back that, I don't need it, I don't want it. Gmail or any other services would get to understand that this is not what customers are really wanting. Then you need to know that you need to change your strategy. You need to change your keywords that you're using, because that's very, very crucial. Also, one more suggestion from my experience that I have seen is, let's just say that if you have a database of 50,000 users, then you should not send your bulk emailers in one go. There has to be batches. So you create batches of, let's just say, 4 to 5,000, and you schedule it in like in every half an hour or 45 minutes. And when you are creating all of those batches and sending it out, then you will see a remarkable difference in what you were getting initially and then what you were getting after that. So, and also it's very important that your database is absolutely clean and hygienic. At times, there are a lot of brands and businesses who kind of acts desperate, and who wants to just want to reach out to a lot of users, customers, which doesn't go very well, because those customers they have not interacted with your brand anytime before, so they would just end up marking your email as a spam. So you need to have all of the database as a very quality users, somebody who has interacted with your website, somebody who has come to your app or some way or the other, and then you are targeting them. But of course, there are anti-spam rules that every email marketer should go through before starting an email campaign. But there are certain things that you will realize only once you start executing, because there are a lot of rules which you have followed, but you realize that, oh my god, even this did not work. So you need to understand that, okay, probably this might have been behind the reason, and this is something that you have to avoid. And then eventually, like in a span of 1 or 2 months, you get really, really stronger with your entire process.
Okay.
That's true, and I guess sometimes you just have to make your brand more human, Nikhil, if I may add. So there are softwares out there. For example, people who do not do email marketing but rely on a lot of, LinkedIn connections. There are softwares out there like Meet Alfred and Mailchimp or Emma. Mailchimp and Emma are more based on email, but Meet Alfred and other all of these softwares. What they do is basically you send out a sequence. So you view the profile of, let's say, 100 people. You have a database of 100 people from your search results, but you view the profile of 25 people on one day. Then you send a friend request or a connection request to those same 25 people the next day, and a follow-up request to the same people the third day or the fifth day, as per your scheduling or the schedule that you've made customized. that tricks the actual platform like LinkedIn, which is, very organic and, so much engagement out there. You trick the platform into thinking that this is not automated and this is more human. And that actually works. So that also saves you from spamming and all those anti-spamming rules, but also gets more organic traffic
Yeah.
or organic responses. And some of these softwares are like really amazing. As soon as you get a reply, you actually do not have to send out another automated email. You can start a more, normal conversation. And that is actually a lead that is worth spending on and will convert more efficiently.
That's right. So is that like one thing I wanted to understand that when you do the sign-ups you have through some ebook or he has himself the customer has logged in and given his details and all. So there is an infrastructure behind it where then it doesn't go to spam because he has opted in and all. Uh,
Absolutely.
okay.
So we use Zoho as our CRM software. So Zoho has a option to also send out automated emailers, broadcasting emailers, and all of these free signups that that automated emailers that goes within the strategy, within the flow, workflow of it, like we say. So when this all of these emailers are integrated as a CRM software, then there is no chance that there is this very foolproof technology behind it. I would say that it will not lead out to the spam folder because that particular time the customer is asking for it. But when it's a broadcasted emailer, let's just say that Valentine's Day is coming in and you want to send out some campaign, some free vouchers to all of your customers, then it might just land up to the spam folder because they did not ask for it. But once they are
So
experiencing
if they've opted in also, then this festive emailer will go to the spam. That's what you're saying.
no, I'm not saying anything like that. But like I said, it might
Mm,
go to it, but there
mm,
are certain norms to protect that. Like I said, you can send it in batches. There are certain keywords that you have to take care of. But then there is definitely a vast difference in automated emailers and broadcasted emailers. I mean, I'm sure everybody just understands the definition of both of these just by the names. Automated is
mm,
something that goes in automation. First, the emailer signs up, then after 2 days, it gets triggered. After five
mm,
days, it gets triggered. That's automation. Broadcasting is, for example, monthly newsletters you're sending out. You're sending out some freebies or some organizational
mm,
announcement or something. That is something that they did not ask for it, and that's not generated in your software. That is something that you're creating it, and then you're uploading it, and you're sending it. So there are chances that it might lead to, but definitely there are a lot of norms that will help you protect to safeguard your interests.